What's up, guys? So, I've been thinking a lot recently about how I think subconsciously a lot of my life has been spent trying to avoid being a stereotype as it pertains to being a gay stereotype, like from childhood onwards, whether it's, trying to present as more masculine growing up out of fear of bullying and all that, all the way to then becoming a young adult and consciously trying to avoid becoming promiscuous because of my association between that and like becoming HIV positive and that being the stereotype of being a gay person in our society. And so I spent a lot of time, I realized, trying to be the outlier and trying to not fulfill that stereotype. And the irony is that despite those efforts, I feel like I'm becoming one of the stereotypical archetypes, which is the gay guy who's successful, has his stuff together, is focused, and builds something for himself professionally, financially, and so on, but who's alone and who doesn't have anybody to share it with. And I'm the first person to come from a place of hope and optimism. So I don't want this to sound negative or pessimistic. I've lived enough life at this point to realize that life changes like this, good or bad. But it's just dawned on me like how funny that in making certain conscious choices to look out for myself and my well-being and stay focused and on a clear path, I actually have unconsciously, unintentionally, maybe made certain decisions that have led me to a path of fulfilling that one specific stereotype of being the lonely guy who does really well for himself, right? And I feel like that's an image that even growing up I saw through reality TV, through certain books, just media in general, that a lot of gay men become very successful. And The Velvet Rage, a book that I've talked about that I highly recommend for anybody who hasn't read it. I'd done a book review video on it years ago. It kind of touches on this, that a lot of gay men you meet, at least the gay men I encounter, they're very successful. They have their own practice or their own business, several degrees, very educated, but that image of the gay guy who's alone. And this is another reason that I was like, I have to leave the apps, because South Beach is one of those neighborhoods, and I felt this way when I lived in West Hollywood too, in Los Angeles. These are neighborhoods where you encounter a lot of much, much, much older men on these apps who are thirsty for younger guys. And I see that and I'm like, I can't end up like that. I don't want to be that. I don't think I ever shared this story on this channel, but about a year ago when I first joined this beach club that I always talk about on this channel here in Miami, I met this older guy at the beach club, I would say 65-ish. I was charmed by his intelligence. Sometimes you look at somebody and the way they process things, the way they make eye contact, the way they speak, you can just tell there's a lot there under the surface intellectually. And so I was just curious about this guy, and I had a feeling he was gay, and I don't know what it was because I don't have the best gaydar, unless it's like in your face, like speaking of stereotypes, in your face stereotypical. Maybe it was just the way he engaged with me. Also, when I see a man of a certain age being by himself, I just kind of assume maybe that, okay, this guy's not married, there's no partner, he's here to like socialize. I mean, I'm doing the same thing, just a lot younger, but exact same thing. I'm on my own, so I'm gonna join this beach club and try to meet people, whatever. And I ended up being right, and we exchanged information. We had both just joined this beach club. We were both newish to Miami. And then he confessed to me that he had a very young partner who was like 18. Not just kind of young, like very, very young. And it weirded me out, and it made my spidey senses kind of tingle. And I don't know why he told me all this. In retrospect, I wonder if he was trying to recruit me to be part of his circle, his entourage of young guys, but he also told me that he had a friend with benefits, so open relationship with the 18-year-old, but he had all these like young guys around. Like again, not when I say young, I mean like much younger than me. And it just kind of weirded me out again, and I thought this is that guy who is very successful and much older, and now he's maybe living vicariously through these younger guys and living that high that he never got to feel, I guess, when he was younger, whether it's because he was dating women or maybe he was building this huge business that he apparently has. But again, I thought, I don't want to be like this. So this is just something I've been thinking about, and just the irony of you try to set yourself up for success, and in the end there are certain things that end up maybe being a part of your destiny anyway, or your legacy. Is this something that you guys have thought about?